It has been precisely 2 hours since I did my last video about the 2 years of rosemary oil. And it's funny because that was my hair under a hat all day, where I'd put oil in my hair because I'm still using that BRB shampoo, and it has this serum that you put in before you wash your hair. That's why my hair looked as bad as it is. So I thought, okay, so 2 hours later, here's how my hair actually looks. You know, I just got out of the shower a few minutes ago. But here's what this video is actually about. Something that I feel is very important, especially when you are a younger man who is worried about your hairline. There are so many other things that matter more, especially to how females find you attractive. And what you wear, your sense of style, totally matters. That can, as far as females actually judging you by how you look, that has so much more of an effect in the long run than your hair, because women know that men lose their hair. But if you look like you're a slob compared to having some kind of subtle sense of fashion, and you're still masculine and you're still confident in yourself, then that's the idea that I'm here to sell you. So what I thought would be interesting is this weekend there were a lot of sales going on, and I got several new shirts. So I'm gonna give you a glimpse of the kind of stuff I wear. And it's funny because in the days and weeks to come, you know how I always shoot, like a dozen videos at once, and that's maybe just for this channel, and then I've got my other channel. So I'll be wearing the same shirt this whole time. Well, you're gonna basically get a preview of what I'm gonna be wearing for like 12 videos on this channel and half a dozen on the other. So all of this I got on like supreme clearance. And that's part of my identity. Part of what also matters to me is that you're already focused on, how am I gonna make a living? How am I gonna have a side hustle? Because a man who is focused on knowing how to control his money is another attractive trait to females. It's not about the illusion that you have a lot of money. It's not about leasing a car and trying to show off. It's like actually being financially independent, making your own money, and then still thinking, but what's the cheapest way I can do this? How can I save money? And when I buy clothes, I only buy them if they're truly on clearance, not on sale, but on clearance, where they've only got like one left. That's how it is. So I will say that my wife definitely helped me out in this, and it's important if you have access to a female who can tell you, if you can take your sister shopping with you and say, hey, help me know what I'm supposed to wear, then that's a good thing. You can fake this concept that you have good fashion sense, if you have a girl that can help you out there. Okay, so here we go. Marshalls, half of the stuff I got at Marshalls. This is MBX, and this is, it says it's founded in the year I was born, 1981. So this has been around for, 38 years or so. What I wanted to do is, I wanted some just more casual sweatshirts, but without looking like a slob. So for me, this would be my version of wearing a sweatshirt. And I think pretty masculine. It's kind of got a ribbed look to it. And of course I love that. Is it called cross stitch? So there we go. So I'm 5'9", and this is actually an extra large. I learned if it's 100% cotton, by the time it shrinks in the wash, extra large is actually best for me. Otherwise the sleeves get too small and it's too short, like here where my torso is. So there we go. There's my sophisticated sweatshirt. So I think that looks pretty cool. Are you gonna be seeing some nipples on this? Hey, it's not like you haven't seen me with my shirt off before, right? In those Naughty Nick videos. All right, next up, DIP. Now this brand, this is gonna sound crazy, but have you ever heard of Kroger, the supermarket Kroger? They're popular down here in the South where I am. But where I live, there's something called a Super Kroger, and it has like a Fred Meyer's jewelry store. It has like basically a clothing department, and it was shoes, clothes, everything. So they had everything on like 40% off on top of sales. So DIP is their brand. So I thought this would be nice to have another Henley. I love Henleys. I love the concept of, again, if you're gonna have something along the lines of a t-shirt, that you make it sophisticated. So this Henley shirt here, they typically got these 3 buttons up here. So, in a nice neutral gray is a really good color to wear underneath other shirts. For example, flannel shirt. And it just so happens, I couldn't plan that my next shirt is a flannel. So let's try this out and prove this. This is another one of those DIP shirts here. And I paid like $8 for all these DIP. They were like $8 by the time I bought them. Yeah, what was this one at Marshall's? This first one I showed you was only 10 bucks. It was like red sticker. So 10 bucks for that. And all of these DIPs you're about to see were like, I think 8 something with the final discount. They were already discounted, and then it was like 40% off of that. So if you live in a place where it gets decently cold in the winter like it does where I am, what I like to do with these Henleys is I like to wear them underneath a flannel. So that way you can stay warm but not look like you've got 10 pounds of coats on you. And this, I particularly picked these flannel shirts because they're thin. I could have got the thicker ones, but I layer so much already. And I think it's more fashionable too if you have a thinner shirt. It gives a little bit more of a dress shirt look instead of like you just came off of working, I don't know, like hunting or something. I don't know. It's more of a classier look, even though this is, I don't know, this is just a pretty good neutral situation going on here. So I like that. And what's funny is, well, while I'm wearing this, it looks like a lot of these other shirts are gonna go pretty well with this underneath it. So I'm just gonna keep on the Henley and we'll check that out. All right, so next up in line is also that DIP brand. And so I already have one yellow flannel shirt you've probably seen me wear before. And it's got like giant orange and, not orange, it has giant yellow and blue squares on it. And it's thick. It's that kind of flannel I was talking about that kind of fits more like a jacket. But man, it's funny because how many years did this in the making? I remember the school year of 1993-94. That was, for me, that was, no, it was 8th grade. I'm thinking of 94-95. That was my 8th grade year. And I remember this one guy had a yellow flannel shirt, and it was so cool. And I thought, man, I need to get one of those. And I never really found a good one that I liked, because it's a matter of one that still looks nice and neat and masculine. And man, I love this. It's just so funny that I got this from the grocery store, and I got it like for $8. So again, flannels are good to wear under Henleys if it's going to be a warm day. If not, I would just do a t-shirt. But I mean, and sometimes too, I'll only button it right here to kind of let that show a little bit. So, hey, I thought about what I wore. So I'm telling you, if you're single though, showing you care about what you wear, but without ever talking about it, that is what you would want to do. You'd never acknowledge to any girls that you actually care. And it's the same thing with your hair. Even with your hairline changing, it's a matter of you subtly doing whatever works best for you there without making a big deal about it. And that is what's most important. It's a matter of subtle confidence despite genetics, you know. That's the normal thing. But what you wear, that follows you your whole life. And it shows that you have good taste. It shows that you care about these details that other men might not care about. Instead of just simply wearing a hoodie and jeans, maybe it's going to those extra steps. Now, I have wanted one of these since like 9th grade, so that had been the 95-96 school year. That was around the time Nirvana did their Unplugged album in New York City, and I remember Kurt Cobain had like I guess, what is this color, whatever color this is? I'm just mad about saffron or something. It was this gold color, and he wore a sweater, and I was like, that's so cool, I want one. And I've waited for all these years, and then I found it, and I saw it in the grocery store, and then my wife said, hey, what about that one? That was the first thing she saw. And I was like, that's funny, because that's exactly what I thought too. I thought, this is really cool. So, I mean, it's basically just a sweatshirt is all it really is. But it's a nice, like, soft shirt, and just the color, like, yes, it's yellow, but it's a confident male yellow. So I'm very excited about this. I mean, really, like I said, I'm incorporating how can you still be classy and still wear a sweatshirt without just simply wearing a sweater without a dress shirt under it? And I think this is a good answer to that. All right, wrapping it up here because I'm down to 2 more shirts. All right, and tell you what, let's see. Okay, this was Marshall's. This is $12, and this is a Dockers shirt. I got this in large because this is part polyester, which I like polyester because they're good to wear under sweaters actually, because they're thinner. And a sweater, that cotton sweater underneath this really kind of traps in the heat without making it too hot. So this is actually, I'm planning, I think, to wear this to work tomorrow. So now, just a subtle gray and kind of black plaid shirt, nothing too fancy. This is actually pretty subtle. And I think because it's so subtle, it's something I could probably get away with wearing more often compared to some other stuff, especially under one of my black zip-up Calvin Klein sweaters. So, all right, we're down to 1 more. And what's funny, for me to be able to have all these new shirts, it meant I'm getting rid of just as many. That's feng shui, that you do not want to end up on an episode of hoarders. Instead, you want to out with the old and in with the new. So I mean, it's funny because there's a pile of clothes in my closet. Some of that stuff I've had since before I met my wife. We've been married 10.5 years. We dated for like a 1.5 years before we got married. So I mean, we're talking like, yeah, 06 is when I got some of the shirts that I'm getting rid of, and these are the replacements. Okay, so this last one, this is also from Marshall's. Okay, this is the most expensive thing I got. It's I paid $23 for it. Originally it was $30, and Michael Kors, that's a fancy brand there. One of the shirts I'm getting rid of is an Old Navy kind of version of this, where it's a thin red flannel shirt, but it was 100% cotton. Even though it was large, it shrunk so much in the wash over the years that the bottom of it basically came down to right above my belt, and I thought, I can do better than that. And actually, this is one of the shirts that my wife, because I looked through the shirts and was like, I don't really see anything. She spent about 10 minutes, came back, and this is one somehow I missed. And maybe I passed it up because it's like the most expensive shirt I've bought since I can remember. For me to pay this much money for a shirt, that's a lot. But man, this is gonna last since it's not 100% cotton. So there you go. All right, and after all that, let's fix up the hair a little bit. That's part of what happens when you're got the receding hairline situation and you're pulling sweaters over your face and all that. It's gonna mess your hair, but there you go. That didn't take long to fix. So you heard it first from me. Nick Shell says, yes, I understand it's not fun to have a receding hairline or worry about hair loss when you're young, and especially when you're single. But my channel is not about how to save your hair. My channel is about how to help you psychologically overcome it, deal with it, realize it's not the thing holding you back. The thing holding you back is all those other things that I talk about. Number 1 is your confidence level. And when you start dressing nice, like I said, if you need to get, a sister or some kind of friend that's a girl to go shopping with you, I don't think it's a crazy idea. I've done that before. In fact, some of the clothes I'm getting rid of, before I even knew my wife, I had a friend that was a girl, and she went with me one time. She said, yeah, I need to go. So then she actually helped me get a lot of clothes. So I think it's a smart move. Being confident, being funny, being skilled, knowing about money, knowing how to make money, knowing how to make a side hustle, knowing how to help other people, knowing how to smile and be helpful. All of those things actually matter. They actually matter, and those are gonna follow you your whole life. The hair thing, that's like investing in a horrible thing. Like that's like investing in Beanie Babies back in 1998. It wasn't a good investment, okay? So how you dress, good investment, especially if you can find it on clearance. And for me, I'll go months without buying any new clothes. But when I see a bunch of stuff on clearance, and you can see, I just got this from 2 different stores because those 2 different stores had what I needed for very cheap. I'm Nick Shell, and what I'm saying actually matters. This matters. This doesn't matter. Confidence, clothes, making people laugh, having skills. Yeah, you know the rest. Comments right here.